Okay, question number 1. So here when demonstrating that the limit of the function 4x plus 5 plus 9 as x approaches 1 with epsilon 0.25, which of the following delta values to teach us? So here, before we are going to select here, let's find first, let's identify first what will be the possible value that suffices the given the epsilon 0.25. So here, I have here the scraps. So given using the definition of the limits of the function, so here we have absolute value of function f of x minus the limit is less than epsilon becomes, substitute lang po natin, that is 4x plus 5 minus 9 less than epsilon. After that, we simplify natin, that will be 4x minus 4 less than epsilon. And after that, we are going to factor out. So that is absolute value of 4 times x minus 1 is less than epsilon. And we're going to separate them. The absolute value of 4 times absolute value of x minus 1 until we have now become up the epsilon is over. So we divide 4 both sides. So we have now x, the absolute value of x minus 1 is less than epsilon over 4. So here, all values of x less than 1 unit. So you can assure that the epsilon divided by 4 is greater than this any values of x minus 1 unit or x minus 1. So we're going to prove this using the definition here. To prove that the limit here of the function was 9 as x approaches 1. So let's prove, let the epsilon is greater than 0. So we choose delta epsilon over 4. Then this one, by the definition, f of x minus L. Substitute lang po natin yung function. After that here, as we come up here, 4 minus x minus 1 is less than epsilon whenever. So sa interval na ito, we can assure that all the delta is between the interval is between 0 and x minus 1 unit. So here, dito natin kinuha yung divide 4. So ibig sabihin nito, it's given the delta here. So given the epsilon 0.25, that is, we are going to divide this is the given epsilon, we divide it by 4. So that is 0.625. This 0.625 is our assurance that start in this point or start in this value of x. We are assured that this is the maximum value for delta, wherein less of it is inside the epsilon strip or inside. So let's see on the graph. So first, let's check first the task here. Okay. So first we will choose this one as the maximum value which can be seen inside the epsilon strip. So lesser than this value, we have this one's not. So we have here 0.03. So this is now the possible value of delta that suffices given the epsilon 0.25. Now let's check it on the graph. Okay, let's see. So here we have the function 4x plus 5 as x approaches 1 here. Okay, let's see. Okay. Then the limit is 9. So let's check. We have now the delta here 0.25. Let's check first the So this is now the 0.0625. So 0.625. So yan. So here we see that in the GeoGebra, it's clearly here that given the epsilon 0.25, the interval here in the delta exists since all parts of the function are inside the epsilon strip. Now let's check 0.031. Okay, 0. So lesser than 0.62. So is 0.031. Okay. At titingnan natin, still, given the epsilon 0.05, so at 25, so all the function or all parts of the function are inside here in this interval. So makikita natin dito na the delta exists kasi wala tayong makikita outside. So all are inside the epsilon strip. So that is for the task in A. For the task B, so I did not choose 0.09 kasi nga mas mataas siya sa mas mataas siya sa maximum value that is inside. Yung assurance namin na dapat inside siya kasi yun yung kinuha natin, that is divide by 4. So 0.093 and 0. This one is 0.125 is greater than 0.06. So we will check that on the graph. So first, let's check first the value of 0.93 or 94. 93 or 94, lang natin 0.9 or 93. So as we can see, so makita natin there are part of the function here. There are part of the function, there are parts of the function which are outside. So the delta does not exist because some parts of the delta or some parts of the function are not inside the epsilon strip. Okay, we have now 0.93. Let's check the other values, possible values for the delta. 0.078. 0.078. Okay. So same as 0.078. Wala pa rin. Meron pa rin part outside the epsilon strip. How about 0.25? So kung 0.25, so kasi mas malaki pa siya sa kanina sa 0.625 kung 0.125. Okay. 125. Okay. As we can see here, 0.125 still not suffices given the epsilon strip. So still hindi siya pwede kasi nga outside siya. Mayroong part pa rin ng functions that are outside of the epsilon strip. Okay. Now let's check question scenario number 3. Suppose a student tells you that the limit does not exist because for delta 0.125, then the function values will not be inside the epsilon strip of the x values within 0.125 units of 1. Is the student correct? So here, based on the definition, we go back here. So the student is correct if the epsilon is in this case, in this given value of the epsilon, the student is correct since 0.125 delta value kasi nga mayroong part. But as we, but since the epsilon is, but we can adjust, no, we can adjust the epsilon to check that if it is true only, it is true only, the student is true if the epsilon is only 0.25. But if you're going to make the epsilon bigger, like this, see, even the delta 0.25, the student may wrong. But here, to in respect to the definition of the limit of the function, uh, for we can check that for every epsilon there always be delta. But here, we can see here, for every epsilon here, 0.25 is inside the epsilon strip. So as we can see here, if the student asks for only, if the limit does not exist because the delta is not inside the epsilon strip, even the epsilon 0.25, the student is true, is correct. But in respect to the function, here, if you're going to adjust the value of the epsilon, we can find here that the delta 0.125 is inside, are inside the epsilon strip. So means the limit still exists. Okay. Now in letter B, given an explanation, suppose a student tells you that the limit does not exist because we're only able to find delta for E. So the student here not is not correct because as you can see on the graph, or as you can see in the graph, for every epsilon here, if you are doing for based on the definition, the main idea of the definition of the function, the student is wrong because you're going to transfer, you're going to make any values for our epsilon, there always be delta here, like example, 1 point, the epsilon is 1.305. So still we can have the delta here. So kung tingnan natin yung graph, meron pa rin all parts of the functions are inside the epsilon strip. So hindi lang siya mag-focus dun sa isang value ng epsilon because kung titingnan natin ang function is continuous function, sabihin niyan, walang continually or infinity, kahit infinite pa yung number of values natin, kung i-imagine natin, kahit infinite pa natin yung value ng epsilon natin, still we can find a delta that exists at any given value of epsilon. So here, the student is not correct because he is only focusing on a one value of the delta. So let's try a smaller value here. If the epsilon becomes smaller, still we can adjust it. Okay, let's see. So we can find an epsilon or a delta that is inside the epsilon strip. This one. Punta natin. 35. tingnan natin dito sa interval here. So, kahit anong value ng epsilon natin, even smaller, we can still find the delta here. So, wala tayong makitang parts ng function that is outside the epsilon space in this interval. As long as the epsilon is greater than 0, there always be delta greater than 0 exists. So, that is question on number 2.